and welcome to the Scarf Bagara War for our new season, the 2025-26 season. I actually cannot believe that we are already in the 25-26 season. If you don't know me, because I'm a relatively new face around here, I am Lauren, and we're going to be having a preview show. Chris, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks for having me on. My name's Chris, as you can see, and I'm the co-founder of a Bolton Wanderers podcast called the Fanzone. We've been around for about 3 seasons now. So, yeah, it's going well. And, looking forward to, as you are, Lauren, looking forward to the new season. It seems to have flown by. Last season has very much been forgotten about. That's been parked and filed under seasons to forget, I think. So, yeah, but we're all good.
Okay, seasons to forget. Hoping one to be slightly more memorable this season, although hopefully for the better, I assume.
Yeah.
So yes, we will be previewing the Stockport Bolton game, first one of the season. Let's start, given we are right at the beginning of the season. How are you feeling about the summer so far? How are you feeling about anyone you've got in, anything like that? How's your summer gone?
I'm relatively happy. I would have liked a couple more sort of statement signings, maybe, spend a little bit more, statement intent signings, sort of marquee signings that you would look for when you labelled as a big club as Bolton are. But that said, a lot of the business that Stephen Schumacher has done has been very shrewd. He's very much reshaped the formation from the Ian Evatt era. We've had a clear out in terms of players who played under Ian Evatt, some which probably came as a bit of a surprise to some Bolton fans. So players like George Thomason, who was very much, he was our club captain, has gone to Wrexham. Ricardo Santos has gone to Swansea. But a lot of these players were very much of that Evatt era, which kind of fizzled out last season after 4 pretty successful seasons prior to that. So, yeah, am I happy? Yeah. Could I be happier? Yeah. It's always really difficult when I think we've made 10 new signings. So it is literally an overhaul. So it's going to be interesting to see how they impact on the way that we play. We certainly need to improve on how we defend. We conceded way too many goals last season. I think it was, 70 goals in a season
just we conceded.
Yeah. What did you finish? Goals against for Stockport, 42. So obviously you guys finished 3rd. So we finished 8th. And I think that was a lot to do with it. We were like 19 points behind Stockport. So, yeah, it was definitely a drop off last season. So defensively, we need to sharpen up. But we're missing firepower. We signed a new striker in Sam Dolby from Wrexham, who was on loan up in Dundee last season, did really well. But unfortunately, injury struck. So we are a bit threadbare up front. Yeah.
Okay. And so with this complete overhaul, do you, are you hoping that it will change the way you guys play, or do you think it will? Do you see the sort of the way your season going being very different? Do you think there'll be a different type of football being played, or is that more of a you hope there's a different type of football?
No, I think it's been apparent. It's been apparent in pre-season. It's difficult to judge and sort of take too much from pre-season, but just the identity and the way that we set up is completely different. Everett was very, very technical, sometimes overly technical in the way that we played. It was very intricate, players playing out of position to accommodate different tactics. And it just at the end of his tenure, it just stopped having an impact in a positive way. And the way that we've set up is very sort of traditional in pre-season, very much a sort of back to basics approach, strong at the back, playing with full backs where we were playing with wing backs. We've got a holding midfielder for the first time in, I'd say, 3 seasons, which will make a hell of a difference to take the pressure off. And we're playing with wingers as opposed to wing backs. So definitely, I can definitely see a change in approach and tactics and shape for the new season. So I'm really looking forward to that and seeing how it works.
Amazing. And so obviously not to bring up any old scars, but
here we go.
penalty did do the double over Bolton. Last season there was a slight double going on. I'm not going to mention, exactly how poor the first game was. I'm not.
You know what, Lauren? If roles were reversed, I'd be absolutely gloating uncontrollably about it. To beat a local rival 5-0 like you did at Edgeley Park. So it was, what was it, 6-0 on aggregate? It was embarrassing. It really was. You've got every right to gloat about it, so don't hold back.
I'm just taking the high ground, I wouldn't stoop to that level.
Keeping it classy. No, I like it.
Yeah, nice and classy. That's the way that we're going to go about this one. But I guess, I completely forgot that the FA Cup was 4 years ago now. That's ridiculous. Because I remember seeing those games live, and they were massive for me. So I can't believe they were 4 years ago. But obviously, yes, we're going into a new season, so 2 more chances at least if we don't get each other in any cups or anything. 2 more chances to, try and exact your revenge. Do you think that you will exact your revenge or not?
You know what? I'll take Sunday in isolation, and I'll be delighted to come away with a draw. Obviously, to sort of put a 5-0 defeat to rights by getting a point, I'd be over the moon with that. It's just really, really hard to predict how we're going to do, because it is such a new team, new players, new approach, different manager than when we played you last season at Edgeley Park. So I could be super optimistic and say, oh, hopefully we can do the same to you. I really genuinely don't see that. And I am optimistic typically, but I'd be delighted with a draw. And I think obviously the game at Bolton was a lot tighter. It was only a 1-0. So I'd see the games being more comparable to that game than the debacle of the 5-0. But we'll see. I think there's been a lot of. I think the last couple of seasons we obviously get into the playoffs, losing in the semis and then losing in the final. I think there was a lot of overconfidence. I think this season, this pre-season, should I say, people have kind of tempered that a little bit. It's Steven Schumacher's first full season with us, the overhaul that we've already touched on. the ambition is there, but I think the sort of the confidence isn't. Well, there's certainly not that level of arrogance. So hopefully, that will
well,
work.
I think that's a big thing though, because I think to some level there's a difference between being confident and having belief in your team and believing that they, if they all come together, could do quite well, versus sort of an expectation of you have to. And I think that almost if you have that arrogance, then actually you can hinder your team more than you can sort of
I
boost them on
agree.
their way, right?
Yeah, it puts a big target on your back. People, people see it as a bigger scalp, to beat a team that has these aspirations and delusions that that they're going to walk the league or whatever. But I think we are. I mean, we are a big club. I've followed the club for a long time, and we are a big club. But we need to realise where we are, and getting out of this division isn't easy. But equally, we need to. So from a financial standpoint.
Sure. And so where in a nutshell, how do you see, like, where would you hope to finish? Again, like we've said, it's quite hard right at the beginning of the season to judge it, especially with such an overhaul of your team. But where do you hope and where do you see Bolton finishing this season in the league table?
Hope is always going to be winning the league. That is always the hope, because obviously it's a trophy, it's success, it's avoiding the playoffs and the pain that you have to go through with the playoffs. I mean, obviously we've experienced the last couple of seasons. Obviously you've had it with Orient last season, who obviously they went on to win the playoffs and be promoted. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to go back to our pre-season predictions on the Fanzone, and I put us down as third place.
Third place.
So I went for, complete transparency, I went for Luton to win the league, Huddersfield to finish second, us third, and Stockport fourth, with Blackpool and Cardiff also in the playoffs. And I had Cardiff to win the playoffs. So, again, going back to what I was saying about this sort of, a more realistic approach and, not being ridiculously optimistic as we were last season. So I think that's pretty consistent across a lot of the fan base. And I think a lot of the other guys on the Fanzone also had similar predictions for next season as well. So it's pretty consistent.
Okay, so there does seem to be an air of confidence going in, but not overconfidence. I like that you've been consistent and not just come onto our podcast and lied to our face and say, no, like, Lauren, Stockport are going to go up, like, we're going to go on too. I like that you've been a little bit more consistent. You're not going to butter us up like that.
No, you've got to say it as it is. And we had some comments on our YouTube channel from fans of other teams who hadn't watched the prediction show, and comments such as, "Oh, let me guess, Bolton are going to get promoted." And I think a lot of that comes from last season, the season before, when we were sort of borderline arrogant about getting promotion. But hey, you live and you learn, as you say.
You live and you learn. So obviously you've said that you would be happy with a draw. What kind of, like, what type of draw? Like a 0-0 sort of, either really, really scrappy goals. Well, obviously not scrappy goals if it's 0-0, but do you think it'll be sort of a scrappy game where, there's lots of chances, but actually nothing's really happening? Or like how do you see the game playing out?
It's difficult. Again, going back to what we were saying before, with it being the first game of the season, it's quite difficult to predict. But we look a lot more front-footed this season, but with a back four as opposed to overloading with wing backs and leaving ourselves open.
Sure.
I would say, I mean, first game of the season, everybody obviously it's going to be it's a sellout. It's live on Sky, and There's a lot of expectation. I think it'll be an entertaining game, and I think we'll certainly go out to score. We've got some really exciting players on the flanks in Thierry Gale and Dubry, who we signed from Brighton. Really quick wingers, but as I say, we're lacking firepower up front. We've just signed Mason Burstow, who ironically scored in a friendly against Stockport last weekend. We signed him from Hull on loan. But we are struggling with firepower, so it's difficult. But I'm going to go for a draw, and I'm not going to say 1-1 because that is so predictable. I'm going to go 2-2.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a goal-scoring draw.
Okay. I like it. And do you think that your new guy from Hull will get another goal in against Stockport?
You know what? I'm confident, and I think I went to our last pre-season game, which was against Preston on Saturday, to see these wingers in full effect, and it was really frustrating because we didn't have a target man, and it was crying out for it. And the lad that we signed from Hull, this Mason Burstow, who I mentioned, he's a big target man. He's over 6 foot tall. He's quick. He's agile. So yeah, I'm optimistic of him maybe repeating what he did last weekend. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Sure. Well, we'll be used to scoring there, so I reckon the fans will be up for it as well, right? It's always a good show when the Bolton and Stockport fans come together. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Bolton get battered shouts going on.
Yeah, we're kind of used to that now, predominantly from the Wigan fans, but we do get it from time to time. But well, and with justification after the demolition of last season, so hey, why not?
Yeah, well, maybe, I hope not, but maybe it'll be your guys' turn to say Stockport get battered, maybe, but hopefully not.
No, but yeah, it's I'm sure that if the opportunity arose, that they definitely go for that. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a ticket. We sold out within literally 30 seconds of the tickets going on sale. So
not majorly surprising because it's so close. So it'll be a great atmosphere. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a fully sold out match. I actually don't know whether it is or not, but I assume it will be. If not, it will be very close.
Yeah.
So good atmosphere for the first game of the season.
Definitely.
Which is always what you want.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, you got to start off positive and get behind the ball. Obviously, like I say, we were signing so many new players. They need to experience, the fan base being vocal away from home. So it'll be a good experience for them as well. Hopefully, they'll have something to sing about, but we'll see.
Hopefully. I might be very biased because I am a Stockport fan, but I always hear that the atmosphere at Edgeley Park it's quite a powerful one, especially when it is fully sold out. So I'm sure that if it's a team that does need that, like if it's been a complete overhaul, might need a little bit of time to gel together. It might be one of those places that really forces your team to dig in and sort of become a team quite quickly. So I feel like there's worse places you could start your season off.
Are you saying it's going to be a baptism of fire for them? Is that what you mean?
And like we say, because it's so close, you'll get great. Again, I would never go that far because I'm keeping it classy.
I love it.
But I'm hoping. I'm hoping there's a little bit thrown at them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be a good game. It's a shame I can't go either, to be honest, because I was mentioning earlier, I've now moved. So I'm
Long
going
way
to
to
be
go.
following Stockport from slightly further afield this season, which will be nice to continue to do these preview shows from.
Yeah. What's your prediction, Lauren?
So, what's my prediction? My prediction. Now, I might say something a bit rogue here. I think Stockport will win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it will be I think it will be 2-1. I know that's a very stereotypical one to go for.
No,
Most
not at
games
all.
do end up 2-1.
Mm.
But I'm gonna say something really rogue here, and I might end up editing it out. We'll see. But I almost would prefer us not to win our first game.
Wow. What? Because
we always do better when we don't win our first. When we do our most seasons when we've done really well, we've not won our first game of the season. That isn't true of last season. I think we won the first game of last season, but that might be wrong. But there's definitely, it used to be like a running joke that Stockport always lost their first game of the season, and I'd kind of like that to continue.
Yeah.
But in reality, I think it will be a 2-1. I think Stockport, we've got pretty much the core team together.
Yeah.
The same as last season. We've had some new people coming in. We've got some new players. We've just signed someone at 6:00, which was nice to see.
Oh, really?
An out and out number 9. Lowe, that is.
From Stoke.
Season long loan. Yeah, Nathan Lowe.
Yeah.
Which it's been in the murmurings for a little while, but got confirmed at 6.
Good signing.
But yeah, it's a very good signing, and I am excited to see him play. But yeah, I think that the whole culture of the club it's kind of still there, and the main core of the team is still there. So I think that we will get off to a relatively decent start. There's not that much gelling that needs to happen. I think we've lost almost all of our promotion playing players now, especially from sort of our previous ones. But I think in total we will still have the same gelling, and we will get off to a flying start like we finished last season, to be honest. So I'm very much looking forward to the game. I will be listening along.
Good.
And hopefully it will be a decent game, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm hoping
and then
that.
Yeah, I mean, it always is. It always is. So hopefully we'll keep that up, to be honest. Fabulous. Nice and short and sweet for the first one. I'm sure as the season goes on they'll get more rambly. We might.
They tend to, don't they? Because obviously you get things like injury concerns as reaction to poor performances and and loads of stuff to unpack, isn't there?
You can tell where your team's going as well, because it's quite hard at the beginning of the season to know how your team will shape up and how they do gel together, because there are still, of course, new signings, and it's hard at the beginning of the season to see how that all plays out. So I'm sure in the future we will get more rambly. I'm sure we will meet each other further down the line for the reverse fixture.
I hope so. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah,
we can sort of reflect. We can reflect back on this preview and go.
Yeah. How right or how wrong were we?
Yeah, when you're there, like at the top of the league, and we're at the bottom, and we're like, "Oh, this is not how we saw it going." But
no, hopefully, but we'll see. We'll see.
Fantastic. Well, then, all there is to say is thank you, Chris, very much for coming on to the Stockport War for our match preview. do you want to tell people where they can go to listen to you if they want any Bolton stuff?
Yeah. I think it's pretty clear. Hang on a minute, mirrored camera. So it's the Fanzone pod. You can find us on X, Instagram, Spotify to listen back to preview shows and post-match reactions and specials. We're currently, like yourselves, I noticed that you guys are offer Patreon. This will be our first season of offering Patreon for exclusive content. One of which we recorded yesterday, which I'll not talk too much about, but certainly different to what we're normally associated with doing. So so at the Fanzone pod.
Fantastic. And until like a little bit further through the season, there will be goodbye from me for now.
Lovely. Thanks for having me. Cheers, Lauren. Good luck.